So I'm going to piggyback off my last video here, okay? So I've seen it, other people have seen it. There's a revolution of brewing, okay? Now, there's different ways that a revolution can take place. I think some ways are slower than others, but there's less collateral damage, right? There's other revolutions that can happen fast and furious, and there's a lot of collateral damage, and it causes so much fucking trauma and stress. Do we need to do it that way? I don't think so. But hey, I guess if it gets results, but honestly, sorry, my beard's all kind of gooey today. So, anywho, so I'm gonna talk about revolutionary acts, okay? And I'm not talking about like there's people that are serious about this, right? They go and do some things that land them in prison for the rest of their lives. Like that's not the way to do it, okay? I mean, maybe that's what they need to do. Maybe they're soldiers. I don't know all this. Like, I only know little bits and pieces. Maybe there's real good soldiers and they know what's going on and they know that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know that. All I know is my little sliver. And me, am I going to stop anything? Probably not. No, but I'm going to try to help. Someone told me, like, you ain't going to stop it. I'm like, no. I probably won't. But you know what? I can do my little part to at least make it difficult for them. You know, seriously, there's so many different, like having a pink beard. Seriously, that's one way, just a little tiny thing of revolt, of reclaiming your sovereignty as a human being. It's like I can have a pink beard. I can do what I want because I'm not breaking the law. But it's funny when you're not doing that, people want to get on your case. So there's revolutionary acts, very small ones that anybody can do. You can, but it's hard to get over the programming that's been done to us that prevents us from doing so. Now, I promised myself when I was in 4th grade, 10 years old, I remember seeing a teacher, Mr. Cullen. He was a dick. Mr. Cullen. But I just looked at him. He was scolding me for something I did, but I just looked at him and I felt sad for him. And I made a promise to myself right then and there. I remember, just like it was yesterday, we're standing in the hallway and he's on my case. He's like, "Rah!" And every time he got done talking to me, I felt like I lost a pint of blood, man. He was probably a psychic vampire. And I seem to be connected to the source, so other people, they like that, right? So they want part of that. Anywho. So I made a promise to myself that I'd never, ever fully forget what it's like to be a kid. Now, there's times when I've had to be an adult, and, you know, you can't always remember everything, right? From, like, I'm almost 50, right? I can't remember everything from 50 years ago or, even 40, even sometimes 10. Don't tell anybody that. Anyway, but you know what? One promise I made to myself is that I never fully forget what it's like to be a kid. And I've applied it. Not only did I not forget, but I've applied it in my adult life. Now, this doesn't sit right with other adults because they're like, what's wrong with this guy, right? They're like, what's wrong with this guy? How come he ain't going along with the program? I'm like, all right. It's like, I don't have to. Like when you're in high school, and you're playing volleyball or whatever, and you're just goofing around. Like, will you take this seriously? I was like, they don't pay me enough to take this seriously. Why do I have to take it? I don't have to take it seriously. But they did because their reputations were driven on it, right? It's like, I got to uphold a reputation. Stuff like that. I don't know. People are so worried about what other people think. Now, that's the key part right there. People are more and more worried about what other people think about them. Now, you got to get over that. You got to get over what other people think, man. And I know I can understand. It's like, well, if I don't worry about that, you lose out on certain resources, right? Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to pimp yourself out for a few bucks every month? Or do you want to be you? Depends on what you want to do. Now, revolutionary acts. Now, it's just standing up and saying no. I mean, it's easy. I see a lot of other things. Like I said, there's people, they spend the rest of their lives in jail, and that's no way to go. Maybe they need to do that, but there's a lot of ways that simple people, and everybody can do it. But they have to get over a little bit of programming. That's the hard part, to get past that programming. Now, I've been able to do part of it, not all of it. I was able to get over part of it. So that's where I can implement it. See, after a while, they dangled the carrot for so long, and I started seeing through shit. I'm like, yeah, well, whatever, So then I became a real threat because they don't have anything to hold over my head. Well, shit. If you don't care what other people think, they can't keep you in line. If you don't care about money, they can't, or women. If you don't care about women or money, they can't dangle that in front of your face. They can't dangle the threat of, oh, you might lose this. If you don't have it, you don't care for it, don't want it in the first place, they can't dangle that and say, oh, you might lose this. Or we had this, you want it? So what you got to do is ignore any and all of that shit as much as you can. Now, I've been testing the system and people. And sometimes I'm really fucking hopeful, but I'm in a small town here. Sometimes I'm really hopeful for people, and other times I'm just like, man, there's no hope. There's no fucking hope for us at all. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, because sometimes for me, in my own personal situations, there's times there's no hope for me. And other times I'm like gung-ho. I'm like, yeah, let's do this, And other times I'm defeated. And that's part of a war. We're in a war, people. And not only are we, people talk about being in a spiritual war, and that's for sure. That's for absolute sure. But we're also in a different type of war now. It's gone kinetic in our world. Especially what happened a few years ago, with the sickness and getting that. So think about this, people. But the best way is to live your life the best way you can away from all that. And it's kind of hard to dictate how to do that. But I tell you what, most people follow a very strict regime. And a lot of that regime comes from the system having built-in wardens like your parents, your friends, your bosses, your guards. They're your guards. They're your built-in wardens. So a lot of people stay in line because they don't want to upset them. Right? Money, power, prestige, shit like that, They don't want to upset the status quo. Because if you upset the status quo, then, it's a big deal, right? But it's funny because I've done this throughout my life. And it's funny because, most of the time I get, just keep your head down. Don't make waves. I was like, no, fuck this shit. This isn't right. And I'm the only one that stood up for what is right, And here I am with my dick in my hand, But, hey, you know what? It's not all for naught because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, after a long, long time, I got thinking, I was like, Jesus Christ, it's like, why are they on my case? It must be something important, right? I mean, if I'm just a plain old weirdo that doesn't know shit from apple butter, then why would they be worried about me? Why? I tell you why. I'm going to help awaken some people. Maybe even just a little bit. I'm going to help change that. All we need to do is slide society one way or the other right now. Right now it's precarious, I'm telling you. We need to slide it one way or the other. Just a little bit. And if we slide it this way, fucked. Slide it this way, just a tiny. We're going to be golden. We're going to be golden for a long, long time. They're trying to steal our last little fucking spark from us. And I have one spark left, and they won't fucking take it. God damn it. I swear to God, they won't take it. I have one. They're trying like motherfucking hell to steal all our sparks. But I have one left. I have one spark left, and it's fucking mine. They ain't gonna take it, god damn it. And yes, it's a challenge. Stay strong and stay safe, godlings.